Hi everybody, welcome in Line by Line. Today, together with Manuel, we are analyzing a song by Willy William called Ego. Originally, the song is in French, but so we will be analyzing its Google translation. So, Manuel, why did you pick that song?
Well, it's ego, right? Like ego is one of the big things that we have to deal with. It's our best friend and our worst enemy in some sense. And yeah, so it's an amazing subject, and I really love what he did with it in the song, and the clip that he made, and also like the music behind it. So yeah, it was pretty nice. It appealed to me.
Yeah, I will post the link below. Please check it out.
Mirror, tell me who is the most beautiful, even if it means becoming megalomaniac. Come, tickle my ego. Go, go, go.
Let me into your matrix. Taste your delights. No one can talk me out of it.
I will do everything to accompany you. So I am bound. I'm in my bubble.
Everything is beautiful. Everything is pink, as long as I impose it. Tell me, who is the most beautiful?
Mirror, what have you done with my head? This dishonest transformation. That's not what I was asking.
The bus was only fake. I'm no longer in the matrix. There is no one to talk about.
I will do anything to recover. What I'm messing up. Finally out of my bubble.
Everything is beautiful. Everything is pink. Before my ego takes over, I'm done watching you. Ooh,
Yeah,
excellent.
there's a whole transformation going on there.
I think he tells a story, like about ego and facing reality, and I think mirror is kind of the reality thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, read the first stanzas, I guess.
Mirror, tell me who's the most beautiful, even if it means becoming megalomaniac. Come, tickle my ego. So yeah, we're starting off with a mirror, right? So he he's looking for a way to look at himself,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and and then he's also using beauty, right? So he has a way to see and understand what he wants to see, right? And that's true beauty.
I think that's what he thinks of himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is megalomaniac? It's like
It's
loving himself too much.
well, yeah, it's power obsessive, right? So it's looking for being in control in a sense. Um,
Mm. Tickle my
and
ego.
so he's uh, inviting this way of being, right, in order to become beautiful, right? Like I'll just do whatever you want. I'll look for power. I'll do all the bad things in order to be the most beautiful, and then my ego gets satisfied. So I think that's where he's starting off, right? Like, oh, like that's how I should do things.
Like that's the thing. When he's asking mirror to tell him who is the most beautiful, he seems to be sure of the answer. The way the question is posed, it feels like he's like, I know the answer, but I want you to tell me as well and tickle my ego.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not only
Mm.
the answer, but also the path forward, right? Like how he has to be and all of that. Like he seems to
Mm.
have it all figured out. It's like,
Yeah. And we talked before in previous line by lines about love associating with beauty. It seems like he loves himself, and he attaches beauty to himself a lot. Well, then the question continues. Let me into your matrix, taste your delights, no one can talk me out of it. Okay, so this, again, it feels like he's absolutely sure of the answer and what he will get. So he goes into the world with all those expectations.
Well, yeah. So matrix is the word for womb, right? So it's the thing that holds things. It's the thing from which things get born, right? So it's like tapping into the source of being or the source of control, right? And then it's like, and now I can feast. I can feast in being like a god, and no one can talk me out of it. So I'm certain, right? Like so there's this sense, right, when you're growing up, where there's this that you can control things, right? Like things that were like, ooh, the world is doing this, and suddenly you can do things that you start using it, right? You start playing with it, and I think that's like the step that he's talking about. It's like, oh, I can do all of these things, and I'm gonna do that because it's awesome.
I mean, tasting your delights. I think in real world it would translate to a guy installs Tinder, and then he wants the Tinder world to give him delights because he is convinced he is beautiful, and no one can talk him out of it. That's what I would translate it to. Not even projection. What do you think?
No, yeah, I think that's true, right? It's like the world affirming how awesome you are, right? Like so when you play the Tinder game right, you do all the fancy setups and you say the right words.
Okay, next line.
I will do everything to accompany you. So I am bound. I'm in my bubble. So that speaks to me to the sacrifice that accompanies this, right? So there's okay, I want to be this way, but that requires things of me, and I'm willing to make that sacrifice, right? I'm willing to dump the girl so I get the new girl, or like I'm willing to like go every week to the hairdresser because I want to look nice, right? And so he's bound, right? Like that now is him, right? Like he has to do that in order to maintain his power. And so he creates this bubble, right? Like he can only participate with a small part of the world that will sustain his image. And if it gets broken by something in the world, he can't relate to it.
Yeah, I think they talk about information bubble, and you only when you're within your information bubble, you only get certain news delivered to you, so your bubble can be maintained. And when he talks about staying in the bubble, it's that all the outside confirmation would only confirm what he already believes in. And he is willing to sacrifice kind of people who will tell him the truth, people who will try to kind of, I don't know, make his reality more clear. Although it's a commitment here, which I like. So he gives a commitment to his way of narcissistic way of being, kind of. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it does imply always staying in unchanging environment.
And it's like a deal with the devil, right? Like, okay, you're going to give me this and I'll worship you.
Oh yeah, that's a good analogy, man. A company bound bubble. and I will do everything. It's like a desperation. I think he doesn't want to know the truth. So that one is already a plea somehow. Kind of. I think that's the moment where actually realization creeps in when he says, I will do everything to stay in that bubble. I think he already tries to suspect. And he tries to affirm himself in that bubble. Everything is beautiful, everything is pink. As long as I impose it, tell me who is the most beautiful. He's asking for confirmation, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting because he says everything is beautiful, everything is pink, and then he's asking who's the most beautiful. So why is he asking if he knows? So
As long as he imposes.
Yeah, but he needs this external validation. Like it's not enough that he says everything is beautiful, everything is pink. And yeah, like this imposition, right? Like this is the trap, right? Like this is like I need to maintain this, right? I need to carry this burden, or I keep carrying it, and if I stop, everything falls apart.
Damn, that's heavy. Beautiful and pink. Is pink the color of beauty for people?
No, I don't think it's beauty. I think pink is
Happy. When they say,
yeah.
I see the world through pink glasses, is pink associated with happiness?
I'm I'm having a hard time. Like there's an element where it's naive, right? Like pink has a naivete in it. So I think it's through the eyes of a child or something. I think that's what pink is pointing at.
I think pink is also, if you want to stay in a bubble, pink represents denial somehow here. Like staying in wearing the pink glasses all the time, seeing the world through pink glasses. It's interesting because the song had no pink color in it.
Well, maybe there was some pink smoke somewhere, but I don't know. Mirror, what have you done with my head? This dishonest transformation. That's not what I was asking. Yeah. So we're back to the mirror. So we're starting in the second half. So instead of pointing at the beauty, the mirror is now showing the distortion. There's a and it's interesting that he's blaming the mirror. So like what's the role of the mirror?
I think mirror is the world, in a sense. He's asking the world, like you go out into the world and you're like, everybody give to me all this feedback that I already know I should get. Everything is pink, everything is beautiful, and then he goes into a real world and he doesn't get it. And his head starts to pick up on it. Like he's like, maybe I'm not as good. And that his head like tries to tell him something, and he's like, that's a dishonest transformation. That's not true. It's like his denial. And then he does blame the world. You guys lying to me? I'm beautiful. Before I went out, I was beautiful. But then I went out and suddenly I'm not. That's not what I was asking. Hashtag denial.
And I want to bring back the pink glasses in because I think that was good, right? So he's walking with the pink glasses, right? And now the pink glasses only show the pink. so if there's not pink in the world, then you're not in alignment with it because you can't relate to it, right? And now you start bumping into things, right? Like you start seeing that.
That's an interesting visual. You can only see only pink things in the world, and then you are bumping into things all the time. It's like, what's that invisible thing? Take off your glasses, dumbass.
And so yeah, right. Like so now you become this person who can only see pink. And that's not good, right? Like now you're out of alignment, and that brings a sense of lostness with it, right? Like you're like, oh, like I don't know what's going on, right? Like I'm floating, like I'm not connected with what's happening.
I think you lost the pink glasses in the world, and the world suddenly isn't pink, and that's why he calls it dishonest transformations. But let's see. In the next line, the bus was only fake. I'm no longer in the matrix. There is no one to talk to about. Like, how to translate it? There is no one to talk about. In the song, they said there is no one to talk to. How would you kind of actually translate that?
Well, I think what he's getting at is there's I don't have someone who's in the same struggle, right? So there's no one that I can confide in. I think that's what he's trying to get at.
Yeah, plus persona pour en parler. What that sentence, I will send it to you. What does it mean in French?
There's no one I can talk to anymore.
Oh, that's how it translates. There is no one I can talk to anymore.
Yeah, or confide in, like, yeah.
Okay, so he used to confide in a mirror, but now he cannot. Google translates it. There is no one to talk about. Interesting. It's like two meanings. There is no one to talk to, or there is no one to talk about.
You talk to someone about something, right? So I think that's what they're getting at. You're talking about what happened to you, right? Your struggle with someone. But if nobody understands your struggle, then because that's what happens, right? If everybody's wearing the pink glasses, right? Like that's the people you were hanging out with, and you're like taking them off, and you're like, that's Plato's cave, right? It's like you go out of the cave and you're in the light, and then you come back and nobody believes you, nobody understands you. So I think, and it's even in the Matrix, right?
Hashtag cave.
Yeah, in the Matrix it's as well, right? He's referencing the Matrix, right? Like they go outside of the Matrix, and nobody inside of the Matrix can relate to what's outside. And yeah, right? Like there's this fake element that sustains him, and yeah, he needs to replace it. And the Matrix, the room that which sustained him, he's no longer in a connection to that.
Let me project a narcissist point of view onto that. So he goes into the world wearing pink glasses, expecting everybody to love him. And the world doesn't care. And people just like, okay, some dude. They just like walk away. And then he's, oh, I think I was wrong. I think I was delusional. There is no one to give me that feedback. So the Matrix was, his bubble was that everybody kind of likes him and he's awesome. And that would feed his ego. And he would do anything to continue keeping that story alive. But the moment reality hit, he realized there is nobody who can confirm. So mirror doesn't talk to him. And that's what he meant. Mirror is silent now. I don't know. Maybe I'm projecting.
No, I think that was right on.
Mm.
I will do anything to recover what I'm messing up. Finally, out of my bubble.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now he's the one taking blame. I messed up. I need to recover.
Mm-hmm.
So this is taking responsibility, um, seeing, instead of looking at, okay, the world isn't affirming who and what I am. He's
Mm-hmm.
looking at, oh, there's a better way to be, right? Like the fact that I was wrong in the past means that there's a way to be right, and he's looking for that, right? And the being out of the bubble is the sense of liberation I think he can find in that.
So it's a change from I will do anything to stay in the matrix to I will do anything to see the reality, and
Mm-hmm.
I would like to change. So I guess he still looks for the affirmation from the outside world, but he wants the true thing this time, a
Mm-hmm.
real deal. And so he wants to change so that he is not accepted by just his bubble, but he's accepted by reality itself,
Mm-hmm.
out of the bubble, and that one he wants to fix. I think it's a breakthrough. He's out of denial
Yep.
somehow, and everything is beautiful. Everything is pink. Before my ego takes over, I'm done watching you.
Yeah. So that brings out to me it's
Mm-hmm.
two worlds, right? So it's the world of the ego and the world of the non-ego, and now instead of having his allegiance with the ego, and his ego needs to be tickled, he's taking his allegiance with the world, and now the ego is this threat, like it's threatening his way of being by imposing itself, right? Like going back to the old patterns, to these old rules, um, and I think that I'm done watching you is I think there's a sense of liberation, right? Like that's ultimate freedom. Like I'm no longer using you, I guess, the mirror to define who I am, right? Like as a judgment. Uh, no, I'm getting my judgment from another place.
Yeah, I I think it's a change. Again, he brings back to everything is beautiful, everything is pink. But after already changing, he gets affirmations from the outside. But before it's gone, he decides not to ask the mirror anymore, and kind of I project here, maybe look within somehow, not to expect from the others to confirm, but see it from within.
Well, if you use Plato's cage, right,
Mm-hmm.
it's not within, but it's in the sun, right? Like the source of light, the thing that illuminates, right? So there's this higher way of being that you relate to, and you use to live instead of these immediate ego um, impulses, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
so I think the whole song is going over this story, right? Like this necessary transformation that we go through, uh, probably multiple times in different areas of our lives where
But
we're
yeah, I just think looking into the sun, it's like again looking outside. It's like you're not grown enough until you trust yourself and will be able to look inside for the advice. If you keep asking and reaching to the outside sources, it's still not inside, you're still not ready. The moment you're looking inside and see the answer, that's the moment when you're done. I mean, done growing up.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a sense, like in Platonism, there's a sense where the outside is also in the inside, right? Like, so there's a mirror. So
Still outside. I mean, even it's still an outside source somehow. We have a common path with others, but there is some individuality to us which needs to be discovered, and the outside true way is not necessarily what is right for us individually. So until we look inside and we truly don't know who we are, because we will keep replacing mirror with some other mirror. One mirror better than another mirror, and in all of this is like opinion of majority basically. But majority had been wrong many times.
Yeah, there's an element, right? Because you can't escape the outside, right? Like the outside is always going to be there, right? So there's a coming together of what's in the world with what's inside of you, right? And then they need to fit, right? Like so your job is to make that fit, and sometimes that is by saying the world is wrong, but most of the times it's by saying I'm wrong, because yeah, like you don't know everything, right? Like the world is bigger than you.
It's true. Okay, Manuel, would you like to summarize the song? What have you discovered about it? Anything new?
Yeah, so I think it's what speaks to me from the song is there's an element where this is a journey that everybody's on, and it maybe gives you a way to connect to other people, right? Because you can look at other people and say, okay, where in the song are you, right? So what's your struggle, right? Like, are you just at the start, or are you trying to discover what's fake, but aren't you really sure in what way it's fake, or are you already there, right? Like you recognize how it's fake, but now you need to find this other way of being because now you're lost. So I think it's a good way for people to maybe look at themselves and see where they're at.
For me, it's striking hit with the reality, like when you just bump into reality and the reality doesn't respond the way you expect it to, and then at the end I'm done watching you. If everything will be beautiful and everything will be pink, I'm done watching you, as long as it is. It's an open question somehow. I still don't know how fully the song ended. I see that we both projected different endings to it somehow.
Oh, I don't think it's the end. I think there's more, but
it was not in the lyrics.
No, I mean the songwriter isn't at the end of his journey, right? Like there's more left in the journey.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. It's just like part of the journey. That's right. Okay. Thank you so much, man. Thanks. Guys, please enjoy gifts of free time. We can all share it and do something beautiful together. Please subscribe to Manuel's YouTube channel. The links are below. Check out his videos. I might appear again in one of them. Sudden plug. And have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
We are analyzing a very interesting French song by Willy William called Mirror. Manuel, why did you choose?
No, it's good.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Nodrik,
Okay.
look at me.
Let's start over. Let's start over. Like I cannot start with that very appalled look on my face. The most liked comment, remember?
Sure. Holy cow.
What is the comment too long?
For 43,000 likes.
What? Which one is that?
Yes, Papa Man. Use me as the I knew this song before TikTok button. That's the most liked comment.
It's for all the TikTok users out there.
You want to pick a different one?
Yeah, the one with 2.2 thousand likes.
Don't worry. You're not the only one who's still listening to this masterpiece in 2022. I'm still watching this and always will be.
Oh, an excellent comment.
I did.
2.2 thousand likes in a year 2022. Beautiful numbers.
In a month. Like
in 1 month. I think I want to see the follow-up in 40 years from the same guy. I was wrong.
This was a comment made from his ego.
We had been also sponsored by Cringe. Bye.